Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel where we talk about how to build credit, how to establish relationships with banks and financial institutions, and how to get you access to high limit credit funding. If you came across our channel and you like the content that we put out, we definitely welcome you to subscribe. We try to post videos on a weekly basis on a variety of different credit and financial related topics. So if that's something that you like to hear, we definitely welcome you to subscribe. If not, you could always just like, share, or even just comment right down below. So for today's video, I have a special review. I've been waiting to do a review on this particular credit union, and it's actually been on my radar for months now, and I actually just recently joined, but I really didn't have, time to really follow up because at the time, I was into a lot of different other financial institutions, but now I'm, on a quest to find the next great credit union, and this one may just be it. So the credit union that we're reviewing today is SECU, and this stands for State Employees Credit Union of Maryland. So this particular credit union is one of the larger credit unions in the state of Maryland. It's not restrictive to only Maryland residents, so anyone can join if you have an affiliation. But the way to find out if you're part of one of these organizations, when you go through the membership application process, they have a drop-down menu where you could basically choose your association, whether that's school related, so like college or university, or one of the many employee groups or other organizations. So you could definitely check out what's in those drop-down menus to see if you can fit into any of those categories. It didn't seem like they really, at least when I did the process, I'm not sure if like they really verified, whether or not, someone was actually part of one of these organizations. Because I was able to actually complete the entire application in probably about maybe like 12 to 15 minutes. So it's very, very intuitive, very easy application process. So they'll basically ask you for your basic information, your name, address, date of birth, social security number. They do a soft pull for verification. So, they'll ask you, they'll do a soft pull, and then they'll ask you like several different multiple choice questions like, are any of these addresses associated with you, or have you opened one of these cards recently, or just something that only you would really know, from your credit profile. So you go through that, you sign all the disclosures. There's a $10 savings account that is required for membership, kind of like Navy Federal. Navy Federal has like a $5 minimum opening savings account where you don't really have access to it. That $10 is $5, it's locked, so it's just a part of being a member. If you ultimately decide you no longer want to be a member, then you can close that savings account and they'll give you that $10 back. One of the cool things, and I'm gonna do another video on this later, but another video on how to like pull money off a credit card. So one of the ways is when you're opening or applying for membership with a new financial institution or a credit union. So a lot of banks and credit unions allow you to use a credit card to do your opening deposit. Now there's a couple banks where they might cap you at 500. This particular credit union, SECU, allows you to use up to $1,000 from your credit card to fund your opening deposit. And the great thing about that is that you don't incur any cash advance fees or even have to pay like cash advance interest. So that's one of the ways where you can pull money off a credit card without incurring any of those types of fees, which is a strategy that people utilize to, like, let's say if you have like a 0% APR card for like 12 months and you want to pull cash off that, if you have a couple of banks that you have in mind. I know this particular bank, like I said, is 1,000. PNC, for example, allows you to pull up to 2,000 off a credit card. So there are ways to get that. But anyways, once you get through the entire process, you sign all the disclosures, and then you fund your account. You'll sign in everything like that. Then you will then get an email to set up your online banking where you establish your username and password and all that. So to retrieve your profile when you're creating your your online, they're going to need your savings account number. So make sure you take note of that. You could always access it once they send you an email, but just be mindful that in order to create your online profile, you're going to need your savings account number that you just created, or that you just got. And then once you set up your online account, you could view your savings account, or if you added any other, they give you the option to add like checking account, credit card, or not credit card, like a money market, a CD. Once you get your online account set up, then you can apply for like credit cards, loans, business loans, car loans, etc. So they have a ton of great products. One of the products that they have going on right now is pretty much like a emergency COVID-19 emergency loan. And they've streamlined the process to be able to offer these loans in a very rapid pace. So the loan amounts range from $300 all the way up to $1,000. The interest rates, they don't specify, but they say that they're really low. And I think they've also loosened up some of the underwriting because they understand what everyone's going through right now with this coronavirus epidemic. Other than that, they have their credit cards, and they actually have quite a few. From the website, they have about 7 credit cards. Now, they kind of follow a very similar credit product strategy that a lot of banks utilize. So they have their like premium signature Visa card. It gives 3% on dining, 2% on gas and groceries, 1% on everything else. Then they have a cash back card, which gives 2% on gas and groceries, and then 1% on everything else. Then they have their first rate, which is kind of like their low interest rate card. I guess an equivalent would be like the Navy Federal Platinum. It's just like their lowest interest rate card. No cash back or anything like that. I think that still gives you though 1%. I'd have to double check. Then they have a rewards credit card that just gives you 1% flat cash back. And then they have 3 products that are geared towards rebuilding credit, which is pretty good. So they're all called the Aspire Visa. So the first is just the normal Aspire Visa. It's an unsecured credit card geared towards rebuilding or people who are new to credit. Then they have the Aspire Secured Credit Card, which is a secured credit card. And then they also have an Aspire Student Visa, which is geared towards young adults and students. And that's also an unsecured card. So if you're someone who's like rebuilding, you may not necessarily have to go through like the secured card route here because it does appear as though they have a option for those with lower credit scores. So you could definitely check those out. One of their best products though is their preferred line of credit. That ranges from a minimum of $500 all the way up to $30,000. You could draw money off of that just as you would like any type of account that has access to cash, and you could actually transfer the balance from the PLLC to your checking account or to your savings account, and then just pull the money right from there. You could do that through their online login. And then they actually have a very unique loan program as well that's geared towards individuals with special needs. It's called the Assistive Technology Loan Program. So if you're someone with like special needs or any type of disability, and you need like a motorized wheelchair or any type of like hearing devices, or anything to really any type of technology that may help you, if it's like robotic legs or arms or anything like that, which I think is very unique. I haven't seen any loan program like that that's geared towards assisting those with disabilities. So I think that's a very good look by SECU to really have something designed for people who need that type of aid to assist them with their lifestyle. So the loans for that go all the way up to $50,000. So if any of you are have any sort of like disability or incapacitated in any type of way, definitely check that out. So on the business side, they have a couple products as well. They have just one business credit card from what I could see that gives, I think it's 3% on like office supplies, shipping, and then 2% on restaurants, 1% on everything else. They have business term loans as well as business lines of credit. For the business accounts, the requirements are you need to be in business for at least a minimum of 24 months. You also need to be at least a 20% owner in the business that you're applying for credit, as well as you have to have 2 years of business tax returns and 2 years of personal tax returns. Now, usually, just from my experience, when it comes to credit unions and sometimes larger banks, they're generally always going to require you to really, with exception of like Navy Federal, but most business lending, they're going to require those 2 years of business tax returns. But with SECU, they also require the 2 years of personal tax returns. So it's a little bit more intensive as far as documentation. And then another stipulation, let's say if you're applying for a loan now, right, they're also going to require if you're applying more than 3 months after the end of the previous fiscal year, then you're going to have to also provide interim financial statements because I guess since we're in April now, it's more than 3 months since the end of 2019. But overall, this is definitely a gem. From just some of the data points that I've gathered, they seem to be very friendly when it comes to people with challenged credit. They're not very sensitive to new accounts and inquiries. I've recently seen some posts on different forums of people getting pretty decent limits with SECU. So definitely check them out. I recently just joined, so I'm gonna see how that works out. Plant my seed and see how things turn out. But if there's anyone who's had any experience with SECU, definitely let us know in the comment section below. And also, if you're interested in joining, they're offering a referral. So if I refer any of my subscribers, you guys get $25 and I also get $25 once you become a member and you open up either like a checking account or a credit card or any other loan product. So if you're interested in joining and you want to get that referral bonus, you can send me an email, info@creditplug.com, and just send me your first and last name, and then I'll then send out the referral because I have to put in my member ID, and then I'll put in your email and your first and last name, and then once you join using that link, then we'll both get that $25 bonus. And I'll even throw in anyone who joins through my link, I'll actually give you the $25 that I receive. So just to entice you guys a little bit more. So, you can then get $50 just by using my link. So that's all I wanted to share for this video. If you're interested in how to build primary accounts, you can email me, info@creditplug.com. And until next time, y'all take it easy and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.